Cutting back. It's a term we're all more than familiar with at the moment, with the cost of living crisis, etc. But for me, today, I'm going to do a far more basic cutting back. Now, if you watched the last couple of videos on I've been sorting out the greenhouse, oh crikey, that's dangerous, isn't it? You know, I was taught, and very much taught lots of others, if you're carrying sharp objects, carry them down like that. Do not carry them like that. Like that. I need to practice what I preach. Doesn't bode well, does it? You will remember, let me get on this side so you can see it. You will remember that I pointed out this rather overgrown juniper tree that was basically shading, I would say, half of the greenhouse. It did have a cut back, a really good cut back. Oh, it must be 2 or 3 years ago now. And you know, I didn't know if it'd survive or not. It's not a tree I'm particularly precious about. It was here when we got here. But yeah, you can see it's actually really beautifully healthy. But what I want to do today is I'm going to be cutting this back in a strange fashion, which I'll talk about in a minute, because I'm going to try and do a little bit of creative pruning. So I'll come back to you when there's a little bit more being revealed. It might take a little while. And yeah, we'll see what sort of shape it's going to take next. This is really interesting actually, because as I'm cutting into it, there is a swathe. Can you have a swathe of greenfly coming out? So they've obviously overwintered quite nicely in there. My problem is now I've also got a gooseberry in the way. I've also realised I've vastly underestimated the amount of foliage I'm going to be taking off, and I don't think that wheelbarrow is going to cut it. Okay, here we go. I'm going in. Okay, you can probably see down there that there's at least a quarter of the tree come off, so really this is where I should just stop. But I am not worried at all about cutting it into the dead wood, because what I am going to try and do, I mean, how much have I taken? That's taken about 3 foot off the top already. But what I'm going to try and do, and I've never done this before, so please feel free to shout at the screen as I'm doing it. I'm going to try a little bit of cloud pruning, which is basically clearing away all this gumph and bumph off, I know there's a technical word, off the branches themselves, and just leave the living bit at the end to form little pads, little clouds, you might say. It takes a few years for us to look really quite nice, but I'm going to do it. You know what, this tree was in danger when we first moved in of just being taken out completely, but I reckon we can still keep it and still give it a little bit of personality just by trying to prune it a bit creatively. So that is what I'm going to do. So let me show you. Okay, so you can see here you've got your nice new, I mean it's beautiful colour, isn't it? Nice new, beautiful new growth at the end, and then all the way along there. I don't know if you can see all the whitefly coming out here, but they've obviously been overwintering quite happily in here. But all the way along here, these dead branches are going to come off. So it'll look a bit odd to begin with, but you'll end up with basically one bare branch with a flourish. That's what I'm going to call it. A flourish of foliage at the end, which you can then, if you wanted to, just leave or clip to make nice dense pads. But yeah, I'm going to try and find out what branches we've got underneath, because really I want to be sticking to the nice thick branches like that one there. I'm going to be sticking to that sort. The one I've just shown you might be a bit thin actually, but we'll see as we go along. Okay, so it's a lot more pruning to do. It's going to be secateurs more than loppers, I think, because yeah, this is more, I suppose, getting the height down was step 1. Finding the shape really is going to be step 2, and then a bit of fine tuning and maybe crying, step 3. Let's have a go. Okay, I'm nowhere near, anywhere near sorting the rest of the tree out yet, but I just thought I'd like to show you this. Again, not done it before, and with the wrong thing. I leave my shears. Oi! Should be nice and sharp. Let's have a go. all I'm actually cutting off here is, I think, the bronze foliage. I used to always call it foliage. That's nice new growth. But look, we've got some beautiful green under there. And if I just have a little play around with this, you can really see, hopefully, what's in my head, which is always tricky, if I'm honest. But yeah, look at this. Okay, so I'm going to have to get in there, get rid of some of those dead bits. And again, that comes in with the final fix, you'd call it, wouldn't you, if you were decorating. But yeah, look at that. I'm quite pleased with that. I'm more pleased than I thought I would be. It's at least an hour later. Thing is, I'm walking on top of all the clippings now. I'm obviously not finished, but I've uncovered birds' nests, I've uncovered moths, so many whitefly. Just goes to show what a great habitat these things are for the wildlife. But I want to have life in my greenhouse and light in my greenhouse. So yeah, we're getting there. I've sort of got a shape, I've thinned it out a lot. An important thing I've found is to keep stepping back and checking the shape. It reminds me when I used to cut the kids' hair when they were little, and you know, you had the fringe, that thing getting shorter and shorter. They haven't had fringes since. But yeah, so the fun bit now, I think these are the bits I am keeping, but I can certainly thin out now and see exactly what's going on. And yeah, now it's to start snipping some sort of shape into it. Now, I don't know if you can see from there, but the sun has definitely moved across the sky, because it's now about 3 hours later. And yeah, what I said about the girls hating having their fringes cut, you can sort of see why I did get a little bit carried away. But you know what? I'm really pleased with it. It is not professional. I am not claiming it as a professional prune whatsoever. But the fact is, when I started out today, when I came up, this was going to get chopped right back because it was taking too much light from the greenhouse. And I just thought, I think I'd seen a picture of somebody doing something similar but better on Instagram. And I just thought I'd give it a go. And yeah, it's letting a ton more light. The amount I've taken off, I mentioned before you shouldn't take off more than a quarter, but I think it might be more like 3/4. I'll show you in a minute. But yeah, it's like all this airing. I know that, can you see that? There are bits like that that will need chopping back. I know it needs tidying up. I know I need to get all of these branches up on the floor, because actually the bits in front of me, the wood for the joists on the shed, which is happening over there, is actually underneath all the trees. So I've got to get them sorted. But yeah, what do you think? I think if nothing else, I have really, really enjoyed it. The weather's been gorgeous, and I've just been, I'm going to use the word creative now. Now, if you want to throw something at the screen, you're welcome to. But you know, just literally just working with what I was coming across. And yeah, I'm pleased. And it does, this is what I was going to show, it does just go to show. And again, for people who are maybe new to gardening and are worried about making mistakes, just have a go. Have a go. This tree was, it was going to get completely chopped down, or at least half chopped down, and you know, maintained if nothing else. But yeah, I've done something a little bit fun with it. Might be dead by next week. I really hope not. But yeah, dead pleased. It needs cleaning up. Now I can get underneath the bottom. I can get to the gooseberries which are here. I can get to the bramble that's been working its way into the greenhouse every single year, and I can never get to the bottom of it. That's down there somewhere. But yeah, other than that, I think he needs a name. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know. Have you ever tried anything like this before? Please put your comments in the comments box below. All of the links are there, Patreon page, Facebook, Instagram. Let me know what you think, and yeah, don't be frightened to giving something a go. See you soon.